Hi, I'm a student at INTI, and today I will be interviewing a multimedia designer for our Integrity and Anti-Corruption course assignment. Our interviewee today, Janae Sardine, is a dedicated multimedia designer working under multiple private companies in Sri Lanka, such as Moose Clothing, Coho, and so much more. Good afternoon, Janae. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be interviewed by us. We're conducting this interview for our Integrity and Anti-Corruption course assignment, and we would like to ask you a few simple questions. So, Janae, as a multimedia designer, have you ever faced a situation in which you had to choose between doing the ethical thing and fulfilling a client's request? How did you handle it?
So what a lot of people don't understand in this career is that it's not just about making stuff look pretty or making sure that people understand what we put out. It's also about controlling what content we publish. And it's not just social media content that we publish, it's also reviews, credited reviews, of course. And there was an instance where this client of mine, they wanted me to make fake accounts and, put bad reviews on their competitors, like business. And they will pay me extra for it. And that really collided with my ethics and morals, actually. Because while it may be the most ideal, easiest way to earn that extra bit of cash, I couldn't, in my right mind, I couldn't accept it. Because I believe that if you're going to earn money, you have to work for it. And that means it's less money. And the way I was going to earn money for that in that instance was not for me. So I kindly explained it to the client that it clashes with my morals and ethics. I explained it to them as patient and as calm as ever. And fortunately enough for me, they were understanding and they apologized. So in instances where I feel like a lot of creatives, they do face this problem, and I feel like to overcome that, you have to have that open communication with your client, because while some clients are very maybe difficult to work with, you still have to approach them with that patience and kindness, and you'll find that they're actually very understanding people.
So, in your opinion, what are the biggest integrity or ethical issues faced by multimedia designers today, such as plagiarism using unlicensed content or giving out false information and advertisement?
I think the biggest ethical issue creative careers are facing right now is the wrongful use of AI. Because a lot of these creatives, well, I shouldn't be calling them creatives, but a lot of these people, they use these artificial intelligence tools to create content and claim it as theirs. And what's wrong about it is, how are you claiming something that you didn't make to be yours? That's one. The second is, what they don't understand is, since a lot of people are using this AI tools, the results could be the same, and they're claiming it as their individual creative thoughts, which I find to be really bogus, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that is what we are facing, the biggest issue that we are facing right now, which is the wrongful use of artificial intelligence.
Yes, I agree. Now, how important is honesty and transparency when working with clients, team members, and even employers in the multimedia design industry?
I do think that this is very important
That's true.
in any career, even in your day-to-day life, and even in this career, the creative career. You have to be honest with your client about your limitations as well, because what the client may want may not be what you are capable of doing. And I feel like we have to be honest about that, because the client may have these expectations that we cannot reach. In order to avoid any blunder, we need to have that honesty with the client. Like, this is what we can do. You want this, but we can do this for you instead.
Definitely. So, what steps do you personally take to ensure your work is ethical, original, and follows copyright and professional standards?
To me, quality and ethics are very, very important to my workflow. To maintain that standard, I follow three simple rules.
Mhm.
The first one is making sure all my sources are verified when it comes to my assets, my images, my vectors, my fonts, down to my background music that I use for content. I have to make sure they're all licensed to avoid any any legal blunders. The second is to make sure there's a two-way communication between me and my client, just to avoid any misunderstandings. And it's easier for me and the client when we have the two-way communication, so we know what's up when it comes to project deadlines.
Yes,
The
definitely.
third and final one, which is so important, and I feel like every creative has this, is having a second set of eyes, just to make sure that things are good to go. When it comes to the creative field, I feel like a lot of people skip the part where you need a fresh set of eyes sometimes to make sure what you're creating is actually usable, is actually good, not just for your personal understanding. Because some people forget that you are not making content for you to understand, you're making content for other people to understand. So I feel like having that second set of eyes, which the content is made for, to get feedback on, is so important before we publish it to the masses.
Moving on to our final question, what advice would you give to future multimedia designers on preventing unethical or corrupt practices in the creative industry?
My advice to future careers would be
Yes.
to hold on to your moral and ethical grounds, especially to your moral compass, because a lot of people in this career are holding magnets to your compass. So you need to stand your ground when it comes to your ethical values, because this career is it's very you in this career you easily sway to what other people are doing. And I feel like to be in your lane, to be successful in your path, you have to stand your ground. And I think that's something that's very important. Even as a person, I feel like you need to just hold on to this.
Well, that'll be all. Thank you so much, Janae Sardine, for joining us on this interview today. We thank you so much for your time, cooperation, participation, and for sharing your valuable insights with us.
Hi, Encik Mano. So I'm Shivani Surkumar from INTI International University. Today I would like to interview you to do for one of our assignment, which is integrity and anti-corruption. So I would like to ask you a few questions. So one of the question is, why is it important for public servants to live within their means?
Okay, it's very important for public servants to live within their means because if they live out of their means, they will do wrong things. They may take bribes to facilitate their lives. For example, if they're driving a big car, they need to take more money to pay. Probably when you pay the monthly installment, it's going to be a lot. So they need to take other forms of bribery and all that to supplement their income.
So second question.
Okay.
Okay. Second question. How can an exaggerate lifestyle increase the risk of corruption?
You have to repeat the question, not clear.
Okay. How can an exaggerate lifestyle increase the risk of corruption?
How can what lifestyle?
Increase the risk of corruption.
Extravagant lifestyle.
Ah,
Increase the risk of corruption.
uh,
Okay. When you have extravagant lifestyle means you go for long holidays, you drive a big car, you stay in a big house, you go to expensive restaurants and all that. But if you're a government servant, your salary is not so much, everybody knows. So that leads to corruption because you want to maintain the standards. You have to maintain going to big restaurants. You want to show off you got a big car. You want to show off you got a big motorcycle. So all this will lead to corruption, and you will take bribes.
so third
Okay.
question. Okay. So third question. What will you do if your colleagues question your
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle because it appear beyond your income?
You repeat the question again, please.
Okay. What will you do if your colleagues question your lifestyle because it appear beyond your income?
Well, if I'm honest and it is the money that I earn, I don't have to fear. But if my colleagues question me because why am I driving a big car? Why am I staying in a big house? Because my salary is so little, then I will feel very guilty and I will have a problem of integrity, which means people will start checking on me, see how I managed to get all this money. So then probably the anti-corruption agency, or they may come after me to investigate my lifestyle.
Okay. So fourth question,
Okay.
how does good financial management help public
Mm.
servant maintain integrity?
Okay, a good financial management is very, very important. From young, you must start this good financial management, and especially for public servant, you must be able to have proper budget every month. How much you spend on children's tuition, how much you spend on children's school, how much you spend on food. So proper financial, how much you pay for insurance. So all this, when you manage it properly and you know your expenses, which is good. But if you don't have financial management, you don't know what you're spending for, you tend to go out and look for other income which is not right, which is corruption or doing things without integrity.
Okay. Last question. What lifestyle habit should public
Okay,
servants adopt to set a
finally.
good to set a good example for society?
Okay, lifestyle options, when you say, means which means that they live very modestly and moderately. They don't spend too much. Uh, they spend according to their income. If they can go to McDonald's, they go to McDonald's. But if they want to go and have high tea in a hotel every day, that's not possible. So which means that you have to have a practice of spending moderately, not having big cars or big houses, and you must spend according to your income that you have.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Inche Mano, for taking your time.
Okay.